Continuing our series on the consorts of the English crown, in this episode we look at the life of Eleanor of Castile. Who exactly was Eleanor and what was her background? How did she become the consort to Edward I and what was her life like at the English court? In this documentary we aim to explore these questions as we discover who was Eleanor of Castile. Eleanor was born into the royal family of Castile in 1241 in Burgos, a city on the northern edge of the Castile kingdom. In medieval Europe, for a 12-year-old girl to marry was considered normal. It seems that she was destined to become Queen Consort of England, as she was named after her father's grandmother, Eleanor of Aquitaine. Eleanor's mother was Joan, Countess of Ponthieu. Ponthieu was at that time a feudal county in the Picardy region of northern France. Eleanor was one of 5 children from the marriage of her parents. Her older brother, Ferdinand, was born 1 to 2 years earlier, around 1239 to 1240. She also had a younger brother, Louis, who was born shortly after herself between 1242 to 1243. Joan gave birth to 2 further sons with Ferdinand III, but both of them passed away in their infancy. Eleanor had 8 surviving half-siblings from her father's first marriage to Elizabeth of Swabia, who died due to complications of childbirth in 1235 aged 30. Eleanor's oldest half-brother, Alfonso, who was about 20 years older than Eleanor, went on to inherit her father's crown. Both her father and later Alfonso ensured that all the children in the royal family received an extensive education. Eleanor had received a far higher education than many of her peers, and no doubt she had been educated to a high standard and reading. Learned many European languages and other skills ranging from horse riding to embroidery and needlework. When Eleanor was around 11 years old in 1252, her father, Ferdinand III, passed away and the throne was inherited by her half-brother, Alfonso, who became Alfonso X of Castile. As with many princesses in medieval Europe, Eleanor was considered as a tool for political advantages with other kingdoms. Alfonso stalled on any overtures from England for Eleanor to marry the future Edward I. Instead, Alfonso focused on the Kingdom of Navarre, which he viewed as a good strategic ally for its passage to the Kingdom of Gascony. Also, as Eleanor's potential suitor Theobald II had not yet come of age, Alfonso also saw the opportunity to annex Navarre under Castilian rule. Alfonso's plan was to be squandered though by the mother of Theobald, Margaret of Bourbon, who was acting as regent at this time, detested the idea of Castilian rule and opted to ally Navarre with James I of Aragon. Margaret vowed never to allow Theobald to marry Eleanor. After the rebuke from Navarre, Alfonso turned his claim to Gascony in 1252. Gascony, which felt threatened by Alfonso and Castile, requested support from England. And Henry III headed an expedition force including his own son Prince Edward to defend the kingdom. The standoff between Castile and England led to intense diplomatic negotiations in 1253 between the two kings. Eventually Alfonso relinquished his claims to Gascony to Prince Edward, who married Eleanor. So keen was Henry for the marriage of his son, he expedited the knighting of his son in England, and allowed Alfonso the honor of the task at the Feast of Assumption. Eleanor married Edward in the monastery at Las Uglas, Burgos, the city of her birthplace, on 12 November 1254. Although both Eleanor or Edward were second cousins, as they were both descendants of Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine, there has never been a report that papal dispensation was required for their marriage. With Eleanor now married to the King of England, her future seemed secure. But little did she know of the troubles in England that awaited her. In the next part we look at the beginnings of Eleanor's married life in England and the effects of the Second Barons' War and beyond.